Hello everybody. Today we get to play. I'm excited for this one because we get to use colors and we get to get down and dirty. It's going to be a fun one. The period just after the dark moon is called the new moon or the waxing moon. In Japanese we call this phase Jôgen. It's a time to plant our dreams, to work on growing our manifestations, and generally just to honor our own growth. So if you've pulled Jôgen, you are being asked to focus on your manifestations and help them grow. This is a multi-step ritual, and I'm going to cover it in this video to take advantage of the current frequency of the moon phase. And I would ask you to try to use as many opportunities as you possibly can to bring in different correspondences, different vibrations, different not intentions, but representations of your intentions into this ritual. The more thought and energy that you put into it, the more you're going to get out of it. It can be so powerful. We're going to talk about the techniques to infuse the ritual with meaning. We're going to talk about correspondences and intent. We're going to talk about ritual. We're going to talk about the moon. It's a powerful process and the outcome can be powerful too. And I'm so excited to share it with you. My name, who am I? I'm Lisa Ayres. I've been working with rituals, with moon phases, with magic, with Ki for over 27 years now. And this video series is a culmination of my life's work. So welcome to Healing with Ki. So happy to have you here. If you've found this video, you're likely diving deep into the Healing with Ki Oracle deck, which I created. And this series is designed to help you use the deck and its messages to their fullest potential. So thank you for being here. If you're enjoying the deck, if you're enjoying this series, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends. Let's get the message out there that you don't need a master, you don't need a guru, you don't even need a teacher to work magic and to play with universal life force energy. It's available to anyone who wants to make that connection. You just have to have the intention to do it, the curiosity, the not even creativity, but the openness to creativity and imagination. It's there for you. It's there for you. So card 43, Jôgen, is all about the waxing moon. Before we get into the ritual, I would like to offer some honor and recognition to Philomena Lila Desi. She is the author of the Everything Reiki book, which is a surprisingly great book. I use it to teach my level 1 class, and in that book is a version of this ritual. This was the inspiration of this ritual, so I wanted to honor and recognize her. I will put a picture of the book up, probably right about there somewhere. And the Everything Reiki book is actually no longer available. She now has the Everything Guide to Reiki book, which I don't believe includes the moon meditations anymore, which is super disappointing because they're fantastic. And I used them for months and months to make some real shifts in my life. So I hope that you can use this exercise too. So first, you need to prepare for your ritual. The first thing you want to do, of course, is determine what is it that you want to manifest. And then you want to create an affirmation statement about it. So that affirmation statement should be positive, in the present tense, very clear and accurate. Don't leave anything up to interpretation. Have you connected the correct emotions to the affirmation? And then think about, how does it feel to you physically? Connect it with all 5 senses. Even if you don't think it has a smell or a sound or a taste, it probably does if you really close your eyes and quiet your mind and simply ask, what does this taste like in my life? Maybe it's something completely abstract, but it tastes like velvety chocolate, right? So be clear in all of these things, especially the feeling of what you're trying to bring into the world. And then also be very accurate about what you're asking for. I always laugh about these kinds of things. We live and learn as witches, as people who work with the universe. It can be tricky. It can be funny. It can be mischievous. So be clear. Once you've determined that, once you're very clear about what you want to do, then you want to take some time to discover the correspondences of the moon that you're working with, the phase of the moon, which is new, as well as the goal that you're working towards. So let's say, for example, if we take the money manifestation, correspondences to that other than abundance clearly would be color, green, gold, silver. If you are wanting to manifest health, what does health look like? Often health looks like blues and greens because reds and pinks and oranges are hot and inflamed and generally not positive colors in the body, whereas cool blues and earthy greens, these are representative of the heart chakra, of balance within the body, of the flow of water within the body. And yet, perhaps you're working specifically with a circulatory issue, in which case red might be very appropriate. So you need to think about those things. And every time you think about and bring those little details in, you're building up this energetic ether concept of the manifestation, which you will then later bring down into reality. When we talk about correspondences to the moon that we're working with, there are 13 moons in the year, and each moon has a different vibe or a different purpose in the wheel of the year. So think about which moon that you're working under, and is it appropriate to work with that moon with the manifestation or the goal that you're working with? It may not be, and we can work around that if we're time sensitive. And if we're not time sensitive, it may be appropriate to put it off one moon. So think about that. This moon that we're talking about when this video airs, it's going to be the new moon of the strawberry moon. So the very beginning of the strawberry moon. By the time the strawberry moon is full, all the native strawberries will be fruiting across the northern hemisphere. So that's why it's called the strawberry moon by so many indigenous cultures. So how might this energy of this fruiting of the world, this beautiful strawberry essence and smell and freshness and joy of summer, how might that either support or hinder the work that you're trying to do? Next, you want to think about the vibe or the magical correspondences. Magical correspondences means the herbs, the elemental spirits, the actual element, earth, air, water, fire, spirit, the stones, the colors. These are the correspondences that vibrate on the same frequency of what it is that you're working with. So, and then you want to try to incorporate some of that into your ritual. So if we talk about the strawberry moon as an example, the strawberry moon's vibe is very optimistic. It's pleasure. Think about biting into a fresh, wild grown strawberry. It's sensual. It's also is tenacity, positivity, curiosity. It's openness and it's wonder. And also this time of year is typically time that you would do sun magic rather than moon magic, because the sun is so powerful right now at this time of year in the northern hemisphere. So the full strawberry moon often corresponds with the summer solstice when the sun is really at its peak, but not this year. This year, the strawberry full moon is actually very early in June. So the vibe of the solstice isn't as strong. Take these things into consideration. If we talk about the strawberry moon correspondences, we can talk about colors, and then colors influence stones that are appropriate. So the strawberry moon colors are red, orange, pink. So think red rubies, jasper, orange, fire opal, carnelian, deep dark amber, yellow citrine, light yellow amber, the pink rose quartz, of course, rhodolite. These are stones and colors that you might bring into your ritual some way. The moon is named after the Roman Queen of Heaven, the goddess Juno. She's a patroness of marriage, of childbirth, and of course June is the most popular month for weddings to happen today. So you can bring those vibes in. That this goddess, specifically Juno, may be appropriate to bring into your ritual based on the goal that you're trying to achieve. Of course, love, fertility would be appropriate at this moon. Any of the gods that are sun gods, gods of love and passion, they would be appropriate for this time of year as well. Now, what happens if these vibes don't jive with your goal? That's okay. Think about what kind of herbs or flowers or foods or different colors or different stones might correspond specifically with your goal. Can you use those instead in your ritual? Can you maybe use them as an offering? Can you incorporate, for example, an herbal incense or a tea that you drink? Anything like that. Flowers that you put around your altar. Anything like that you can bring in as well. So once you've done all that research, you're going to gather up all your tools that you need. And the most important tools for this ritual are paper. Think about the material of the paper. So for example, I've got plain white, printer paper here, but I might also choose something from my Book of Shadows, or I might choose fancy paper that I've collected over the years with matching envelopes, anything like that. Whatever feels right for the work that you're doing. Again, the more thought to the feeling of the paper, the color of the paper, the material of the paper that you put into this, the more energy you're putting into the work that you're doing. Then you want a plain unmarked envelope or a sheet protector. I like the sheet protector because you can use it with dry erase markers, and then you can just erase it and reuse it over and over and over again, so you're not adding more carbon into the atmosphere when you're burning the envelope. You never know what the adhesives are, so I like the plastic sheet because it's reusable, and also because I then get to see my manifestations that I've written down as I'm working on the sheet protector. So something to think about. Again, colors might jive with your intent. So different colors are fun to work with as well. Even different pen or pencil or colored pencils. Those are great to bring in too. So think about what you like to write with. I always like to write with my purple pen. It's my favorite because I love the color purple because it is the color of universal energy. So I always write in a purple pen. So things to think about, bring those all together, plus the correspondences that you've researched. Now, if it's possible, try to perform this ritual outside under the new moon. If it's not possible, that's okay. You can set up at an open window that faces the new moon. Even if you don't have that, it doesn't matter. Remember, it's always about your intention, your heartfelt intentions that matter. When I was doing this ritual regularly in my life, I would sit in front of our sliding patio door because sometimes I could see the moon through the trees, a gap in the trees. It was beautiful, and I would just set up there to do this ritual. Whatever works for you. If it doesn't work to do it in your living room, if you need privacy, do it somewhere else. That's fine. It, again, doesn't matter. It's all about intention. All right. Then you're going to use Hado Kokyu Ho. So the breathing breath, the breath. That's card 6. I'll put it up here for you to reference. You're going to use card 6 and card 7. Oh, I always say this wrong. Chikyu no Kokyu, breath of the earth, to ground yourself. And that's card 7. I'll put it up here. And then you're going to begin your meditation with Gasshō, hands together. And that's card 27. We're not there yet, but I will put a link to it eventually down in the description. All right. So probably now is the time that you're going to want to go away, do all your research, pause the video, and then come back and we'll work through the ritual together. All right, you've done your research. This is when it comes in handy. You're now sitting grounded and centered in Gasshō, ready for the ritual. When you feel connected to universal ki, when you feel connected to the flow of energy in the universe, then you want to ritually cleanse yourself and your surroundings using whatever your tradition is. If you don't have a tradition, you can consider using a smoke cleansing ritual with dried herbs or incense to walk around the space that you're in. You might also discover appropriate herbs that you can make into a tea or a juice or a tincture. And then with those herbs in the tincture form, you can then sprinkle your area and yourself to cleanse. There's lots of different ways to cleanse. Whatever works for you. Play with it, have fun with it, add intention to it. That's what matters. Once you've cleansed your space and yourself, then you're going to create a sacred circle. And this is where you're going to incorporate the desired correspondences that you've discovered from your research. Include appropriate gods and goddesses, include fresh flowers, fruits as offerings that are appropriate, colorful candles, stones to define your circle and your quarter points. Those are all great ways to create a sacred space and to bring in the right energy for your manifestation. So once you've created your sacred circle, you're going to sit down in that sacred circle and clearly define what you want to manifest. You're going to write it down on your piece of paper, whatever that piece of paper is. And you're going to include a statement at the top of the page, something along these lines, and I will include this script in the description below the video. So something such as, I gratefully accept these things, or something even better, into my life now for my highest good and the highest good of all involved and affected. I added this in after my experience with ICBC. So I gratefully accept these things or something even better into my life now for my highest good and the highest good of all those involved. Then you list all the things that you want to bring in. And then at the end of your list, you're going to put an emotionally potent statement. So something like, I am so grateful for these blessings that have come into my life. Say it positive, present, as if it's already happened. Next, you're going to consider creating a sigil for the work that you're doing. Now, if you've never worked with sigils, there are some amazing teachers out there. I will not claim to be an expert on sigils, but it's a cool concept, and we are working with symbols in this case. So you may consider creating a sigil to represent the manifestation that you're working with. Once you've come up with appropriate symbols, whether that be a sigil or the invoking pentagram of earth, a square, the root chakra symbol, because square, earth, root, these all represent manifestation here in the physical experience. You might also bring in power symbols such as Chokurei, Kriya, the distance symbol, any kind of master symbol, Reiku, Rama, which is grounding for manifestation. Any of these kinds of symbols are really appropriate. Choose the symbols that you want to work with. Then take that amazing list of all of your manifestations, all your wishes and heart's desires, slip them into your sheet protector or a plain unmarked envelope. As I said, I like the sheet protector. And then what you're going to do is choose appropriately colored markers and draw your symbols into the representation of your manifestation. And this is why I like the plastic, because I can see what I've written. By writing it, I've put my own intent and power into the manifestations. Now I'm seeing the symbol go onto the manifestation. So let's say I decide that I want to put the large Chokurei on top, and it's green because I'm working on heart-centered things. Perhaps if I'm working on heart-centered things, I also need to bring in pink, universal love, in which case perhaps I want to put a pink heart. Because I want to manifest it with no harm to anyone, perhaps I do a pink square. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be anything other than appropriate to what you're working with. And as you're drawing these symbols, I want you to feel the emotion, not only of the stuff that you're trying to manifest, but also the emotion of the colors and the symbols that you are implanting into those intentions. And truly embrace this feeling. Truly embrace it as if the manifestation was already here, present in your life. That's key. That's key. Once you feel you've infused these manifestation statements fully and completely with all the energy that you've collected from your multiple venues, color, sound perhaps, taste, gods and goddesses, herbs, smokes, you've brought that all together. When you feel that's complete, what you're going to do is take that list and just file it away somewhere safe until the next full moon. Then you close your circle and you make sure, of course, that you've thanked all your helpers who you called in for their assistance, and simply release, accept, love, be full of gratitude, and allow the magic to work. Then on the night of the next full moon, you're going to pull this list out again and literally go through the list and check off all the things that you already have to be thankful for. And the things that need more time to manifest or that need a little bit of tweaking as you've thought about it, rewrite your list on that next new moon. Okay, so full moon, checking off, done, 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 amazing, thank you. Halfway through this one, great. Okay, acknowledge your own abilities and thank the universe for everything that is already provided for you, for all this abundance that is flowing into your life because you took the time and effort to ask for it. Then file that list away again until the next new moon. At the next new moon, you'll burn this original page. You create a new one. Let me tell you some stories about my own personal experience with this ritual. I started with it probably 15 years ago, maybe even before that, maybe 18 years ago. I used this ritual every full moon and every new moon. And when we talk about the full moon, we'll bring in some full moon manifestation rituals as well. But I would use this ritual and the full moon ritual for at least 6 months straight. And the rapidity and effectiveness of this process was astonishing. It shouldn't be. We should know, but it was astonishing. And it really solidified to me my own capabilities, the abundance of the universe, the fact that spirit is there supporting me. All I have to do is ask and acknowledge and be thankful. It was amazing, and I hope it is amazing for you as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the ritual. Until next time, I'm Lisa Ayres. I am the founder of the Drawing Down the Moon system of Reiki. I am the author of Healing with Ki Oracle deck and the companion book and this series of knowledge. Thank you for sharing with me this experience, and thank you for sharing with your friends this video. Enjoy.